August 20th, 1989. Beverly Hills, California, 722 North Elm Drive, Victoria. Sure, Drive, a mansion, Mediterranean style, worth millions. Inside, Jose and Kitty Menendez are watching television, comfortable, relaxed. It's Sunday evening. Their sons, Lyle and Erik, are supposedly at the movies, but they're not. They're in the car, in the driveway. Loading shotguns, 12 gauge, purchased days earlier. They enter through the front door, walk to the family room. Their parents look up, maybe surprised, maybe not. Within seconds, the shooting starts. Jose takes 5 shots. Kitty tries to crawl away, gets hit repeatedly. The final shot to her face, execution style. Then, silence. 2 sons, 2 parents, dead. And a story that will divide America for 35 years, and counting. The brothers drive away, dispose of evidence, create alibi, then return home. At 11:47 p.m., Lyle calls 911, screaming, hysterical. "Someone killed my parents." Police arrive, find carnage, blood everywhere. Parents brutally murdered, sons in shock, but crying. Neighbors gather, and everyone assumes home invasion. Mob hit maybe. Jose was successful businessman. Bite? Entertainment executive. Rich. Poet. Rabiali. Jamurdo. Delu. Justice. Karate. Rich. Powerful. Maybe made enemies. Nobody suspects the sons. Why would they? They're victims too. Orphaned, traumatized, inheriting fortune, but having lost everything that matters, or so it seemed. For months, police investigated, found nothing. Until Erik confessed to his therapist, who told his mistress, who told police, and everything changed. The grieving sons became suspects. The victims became killers. And America had to decide, were they monsters or were they victims too? Jose Menendez came to America from Cuba at 16. 1960. After Castro took power, he had nothing, but he had drive, ambition, guidance, intelligence. He worked his way through college, got business degree, climbed corporate ladder. He eventually became executive at Live Entertainment. RECA records before that. He was self-made man, American success story. Made millions, provided everything for his family. Big house, expensive cars, private schools, country club memberships. On the surface, he was perfect father, perfect husband, perfect provider. But surfaces can lie, and Jose's surface hid something dark, something his sons would later claim destroyed them. Kitty Menendez was former beauty queen, married Jose young, devoted herself to family, to her sons. She was involved, mother, some say too involved, controlling, perfectionist. She had her own struggles, depression, substance abuse, feelings of inadequacy despite wealth. She lived through her sons. Their achievements were her achievements. Their failures were her failures. The family looked perfect from outside, but inside, pressure, toy, pressure, expectations, secrets. Things nobody talked about, things that festered, until they exploded. On August 20th, 1989, Taristoy. Karadids 99. In blood, in violence. Turret showers, in murder. Lyle Menendez. Chickens Couture. By Menendez. Born January 10th, 1968. The older brother. Charismatic. Confident. Dirty. Entered Princeton University. Though he'd later be suspended for plagiarism, he was golden child. At least publicly. Handsome, very athletic, guy, everything father wanted. But underneath, anger, resentment, fear, blind, me, night, she won. Things he wouldn't talk about until trial. Things that would shock nation. Erik Menendez. Born November 27th, 1970. The younger brother. Sensitive. Artistic. Played tennis competitively. Close to his mother. But struggling with identity. With expectations. With secrets. Secrets that were destroying him. That would eventually lead him to confess. To therapist. To police. To world. Secrets about his father. About abuse. About why they killed. The family lived in Beverly Hills. 722 North Elm Drive, Victor Chisiu. Elise, 6 bedrooms. Pool. Night tier. Bench. Tennis. Court. Tikti. Guy. Bepsish. Nebo Center. Tennis. Court arte sky. Everything money could buy. But money doesn't buy happiness. Doesn't buy safety. Doesn't stop abuse. If the brothers' later claims were true. And that's the question that divides America. Were they telling truth about abuse? Or lying to escape murder convictions? In 1989, before murders, nobody saw problems. Nobody suspected. Family seemed perfect. Sons seemed privileged. Spoiled even. Nobody imagined what was supposedly happening behind closed doors. Nobody imagined what was about to happen. That these sons would become killers. That this perfect family would become crime scene. That this mansion would become murder house. But it did. It all did. August 20th, 1989. The brothers' story. They went to the movies. License to Kill. Why Kill Young? Kai. James Bond film. Came home around 10 p.m. Found parents dead. Called police. Traumatized. Devastated. The truth. They bought shotguns days earlier. Mossberg, 12 gauge. told store owner they were going bird hunting. August 18. Eine Semnes Toda Titith. Nekensjaber Sobor. 2 days before murders, they practiced shooting, tested the weapons, prepared. This wasn't impulse. This was planned. On the night of August 20th, they drove to the house, parked, loaded weapons, entered, and killed their parents, deliberately, methodically, brutally. Jose was hit 5 times, point blank range. Kitty ran, tried to escape, was shot multiple times, crawled, begged maybe. The final shot blew off part of her face. Reloaded weapon. Execution. This wasn't self-defense. This wasn't heat of moment. This was murder. Premeditated. Calculated. Cold. After shooting, brothers left. Drove to Mulholland Drive. Disposed of shotguns. Discarded shells. Changed clothes. Created timeline. Then drove to movie theater. Bought tickets. Established alibi. Established alibi. Then drove home. Miami. Discovered bodies. Called 911 at 11:47 p.m. Lyle's call is chilling. Listen to it. He's screaming, crying. Someone killed my parents. Sounds genuine. Sounds terrified. But was it performance? Was he acting? Jury would later have to decide. Police arrived. Found scene of carnage. Tistor Diane. Change. Blood. Dot. Bodies. Evidence of extreme violence. But no signs of forced entry. No signs of burglary. Nothing taken. Parents still wearing jewelry. Cash in house untouched. It didn't look like robbery. Didn't look like home invasion. But also didn't look like sons did it. Why would they? They just inherited millions. That was the question. That was the misdirection. The investigation started. Police interviewed brothers extensively. Their stories were consistent. They were at movies, came home, found horror. They seemed genuine, seemed devastated. Police looked elsewhere. Jose's business dealings. Did he have enemies? Was this mob hit? Professional killing? Theories multiplied. Meanwhile, brothers were free, rich, 51. Mouse died, rent, and spending. Within months, they'd spent hundreds of thousands. Rolex watches, expensive cars, courtside Lakers tickets, restaurants, travel, living large. Grieving sons, or celebrating killers? Depends who you ask. They said they were coping, trying to feel better, using money to fill void. Others said they were enjoying freedom, enjoying inheritance, enjoying life without parents. The spending would later be used against them. Evidence of motive, evidence of guilt, evidence they weren't victims. They were killers who murdered for money. March 1990. This was 7 months after murders. Erik Menendez is in therapy. with Dr. Jerome Osia. He's struggling. Guilt, anxiety, goodness, fear, gaunt. During session, he confesses. Tells Oziel he and Lyle killed their parents. Oziel is shocked, bound by confidentiality. Can't tell police, but he tells his mistress, Yudalan Smythe, and she isn't bound by anything. She goes to police. July 1990. Police get warrant for therapy tapes. Arrest Lyle first. March 8, 1990. Bouncy? She 190 in Beverly Hills. He doesn't resist. 3 days later, Erik is arrested in Israel. Constantly coerced, playing tennis tournament. Take extradited back to California. Both charged with first-degree murder. Both facing death penalty. Case that seemed cold just exploded, and America was about to get obsessed. The first trial began July 1993, 4 years after murders. The defense strategy was shocking. Yes, the brothers killed their parents, but it wasn't murder. It was self-defense from years of abuse. Sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Jose molested both sons. Started when Erik was 6. Continued for years. Kitty knew. Did nothing. Participated sometimes. The abuse was so severe. So damaging. Kanye? Che? Damaging. So constant. That the brothers feared for their lives. Believed their parents would kill them to keep secrets hidden. So they killed first, out of fear, out of desperation, out of survival instinct. This was their defense, and it was unprecedented, controversial, interrupt, and would divide America. Erik testified first, in detail, about abuse, about what his father did to him, how it started, how it continued, how it made him feel. He cried, broke down, described sexual acts, described threats, described fear. It was graphic, disturbing. Hard to watch, hard to hear. Some believed him completely. Saw broken man, abuse, victim, survivor who fought back. Others doubted. Saw performance, manipulation, least designed to escape justice. The courtroom was split. The nation was split. Was he telling truth? Or was this elaborate defense, coached by lawyers, designed to generate sympathy? To avoid conviction? To escape punishment for cold-blooded murder? That was the question. Lyle testified to confirmed abuse. Say Jose molested him until age 8, then stopped. But Erik's continued. Lyle felt guilty, felt responsible, felt he should have protected his brother, couldn't. The week before murders, Erik told Lyle the abuse was still happening. Lyle confronted Jose. Jose threatened them, said he'd kill them if they talked, if they told anyone, if they destroyed family reputation. The brothers believed him, feared him, bought guns for protection, then decided to act first, killed parents before parents could kill them. But that was their story, their justification, their defense, self-defense, from abuse, from fear, from monsters who looked like parents. The prosecution's case was simple. This was murder for money, pure and simple. Jose was worth $14 million tort. The brothers wanted inheritance, wanted freedom, wanted wealth without having to work. So they killed, planned it, executed it, then spent the money. Rolex watches, Porsche, Bang, Neo Swanger, Dempsey, and travel, die. The abuse claims, fabricated, coached, noised, based on, line. Why? If they were really afraid, why not leave? Why not report abuse? Why kill? And why reload weapons? Why shoot mother in face after she was already dying? That's not self-defense. That's execution. That's murder. And they should pay with life in prison or death penalty. That was prosecution's argument. And it was compelling too. The trial was televised. Court, TV, Bish. America watched. Daily. It was spectacle. Like O.J. Simpson trial would be a year later. People took sides. Team brothers or team prosecution. Talk shows debated. Newspapers covered every detail. The brothers became celebrities, infamous ones, but celebrities nonetheless. Women wrote them in prison, offered support, believed them, loved them even. The case became cultural phenomenon. Dat Jone Gama Dastakol Dubtat Way Parody about Sunny Bigay Service Chapter O. Not just trial, but referendum on abuse, on justice, on whether victims of abuse can become perpetrators and still be victims. America couldn't agree. Neither could jury. January 1994. Tart. Both juries deadlocked. Couldn't reach verdict. Hung juries. Mysteries. The brothers wouldn't be freed, but wouldn't be convicted. Yet. There would be second trial. And this time, outcome would be different. The second trial began August 1995. Door. Different judge. Different rules. The abuse evidence was limited. Judge ruled much of it inadmissible. The brothers couldn't present same defense, couldn't tell same story, couldn't show same evidence. This was strategic decision by prosecution, and it worked. Sunday whites. Without full abuse narrative, brothers looked less sympathetic, looked more like killers, less like victims. The trial was shorter, less dramatic, less televised. Public was moving on. O.J. Simpson trial was happening. That was the spectacle now. Menendez Brothers were yesterday's news. But for them, this trial was everything. Their last chance, their only hope. March 20th, 1996. Part 2. Fixed out about now. Dårlig predict dåd guys or sing damo gjort an fire guilty. Both brothers. First-degree murder with special circumstances. Lying. Meet. Multiple victims. This meant death penalty was possible. But July 2nd, 1996. Dr. Tom Resentencing. Judges Godsigi Kai Kod. Judge gave them life in prison without possibility of parole. 2 consecutive life sentences each. They'd never be free. Never see outside prison walls again. They were young. Lyle was 28. Erik was 25. Target. They spent rest of their lives in prison. Separated. Different facilities. Couldn't see each other. Couldn't talk. Just imprisoned. For murders they committed. Or for defending themselves. Depends who you ask. Depends what you believe. About abuse. About justice. About truth. The brothers' family supported them. Cousins testified about witnessing concerning behavior from Jose. About suspecting abuse. About believing the brothers. But prosecution had experts too. Psychologists who said the abuse claims were inconsistent. Possibly fabricated. Possibly coached. The evidence was muddled. Unclear. Open to interpretation. Like so much in this case. What's true? What's performance? What's memory? What's manipulation? We still don't know. Not definitively. Not with certainty. Just opinions, beliefs, BSs, books. Everyone has one. Nobody knows for sure, except Lyle and Erik. And they've maintained their story for 35 years, consistently, never wavering, never changing. Does that prove truth? Or just good liars? That's for you to decide. After conviction, brothers were sent to different prisons. Lyle to Mule Creek State Prison. Erik to Pleasant Valley State Prison. Separated for 17 years. They wrote letters. Couldn't see each other. Couldn't hug. Couldn't talk. Just letters. About life. About memories. About surviving. Both married in prison. Women who believed in them. Who loved them. Who visit regularly. Lyle, married twice. First marriage ended. Second, continues. Erik married once. Temi Couture. She's devoted. Advocates for him. Believes him. Loves him. Despite everything. Despite murder. Despite life sentence. She believes he's victim, not monster. That's love. Or delusion. Again, depends who you ask. In 2018, brothers were reunited, transferred to same prison. Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility. San Diego. After 17 years apart, they hugged, cried, could finally see each other. Exist in same space. Prison officials allowed it. Humanitarian decision. Brothers were model inmates. No trouble, no violence, just serving time. Together now. That reunion photo went viral. Two middle-aged men hugging, crying. Brothers reunited. Still in prison. Still guilty. Still serving life. But together. Small mercy. Small comfort. In lives defined by tragedy. By violence. By questions without answers. Something changed in 2020s. Cultural shift. Social media. TikTok, specifically. Generation C discovered the Menendez case. And they saw it differently. Completely differently than their parents did in 1990s. They saw abuse victims. Saw Me Too. Saw trauma. Saw boys who were molested. Who were threatened. Who fought back. They started #Hush Free Menendez Brothers. Jeez. It went viral. Millions of views. Thousands of videos. Young people analyzing case. Sharing evidence. Building arguments. Creating pressure. For resentencing. For release. For justice. Delayed justice. But still justice. This wasn't just internet trend. This was movement. And it was working. The cultural conversation about abuse changed. In 1990s, male sexual abuse wasn't discussed, wasn't believed, wasn't taken seriously. Men couldn't be victims. Boys couldn't be molested. That was narrative. That was bias. But now, Me Too movement. Increased awareness. Trauma-informed understanding. Recognition that abuse victims can respond violently. That fight or flight includes fight. That survival sometimes looks like aggression. This new understanding changed how people viewed Menendez brothers. They weren't greedy killers. They were abuse survivors who killed their abusers in self-defense, in desperation, in trauma response. This perspective gained traction, gained support, gained momentum. Netflix released documentary, The Menendez Brothers, September 2024. Millions watched. Social media exploded. TikTok videos, Instagram posts, Twitter debates. The case was everywhere. Again, new generation learning story. Story, forming opinions. Most sided with brothers. Believed abuse claims. Questioned conviction. Demanded release. This wasn't just documentary. This was catalyst for legal action. For resentencing. For possibility of freedom. After 35 years. After lifetime in prison. After punishment that exceeded crime. If you believe abuse. If you believe their story. If you believe they were victims too, Kim Kardashian got involved. October 2024. Wrote essay. Visited brothers in prison. Talked. Advocated publicly. Used her platform, her influence, her reach to demand resentencing. Why? To explain abuse, to humanize brothers. She wrote, "They are kind, intelligent, and honest men. When I visited, I could only think about the scared, broken kids they were when this happened. She has influence. Millions follow her. Listen to her. Believe her. Her advocacy mattered. Moved the needle. Created pressure. On court on system. Intaus. Now. Tunes. And to reconsider. To resentence. To possibly release. After 3.5 decades. Is it time? That's the question. Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon reviewed the case. 2024. Considered new evidence. New understanding of abuse. Changed cultural context. In October 2024, he announced he'd seek resentencing. Recommend brothers be eligible for parole after 35 years served. This was massive. This was breakthrough. This was hope. For brothers, for family, for supporters. The judge would decide. Hearing scheduled. But Da's recommendation carried weight. Meant something. Meant justice might finally account for abuse, for trauma, for context that was missing in original trial, that was dismissed, that matters now in ways it didn't then. January 2025. Resentencing hearing approaches. Arguments are prepared. Defense. The brothers have served 35 years. They were young when crime occurred. Lyle was 21. Timur was 21. Erik was 18. They were abused, traumatized, not thinking clearly. They've been model prisoners, rehabilitated, educated. No violence, no problems. They pose no threat to society. They've paid their debt. It's time for mercy, for second chance, for freedom. They deserve parole, eligibility, deserve possibility of life outside prison. After 3.5 decades. That's the argument. That's the hope. That's the plea. Prosecution response. They murdered their parents. Brutally. With shotguns. Reloaded. Shot multiple times. Execution style. Then went to movies. Spent money. Cure. Lead to police. This wasn't self-defense. This was murder for inheritance. The abuse claims are questionable, uncorroborated, convenient. Ain't shy. Mansi, Shia, Canal Center, Hijinyut, Diet, Cover. They got fair trial, got convicted, got sentenced. Life without parole. That was justice. Changing it now because of social media, because of TikTok, because cultural attitudes shifted. That's not justice. That's trend chasing. That's publicity seeking. They should die in prison. As sentenced as deserved. That's the counter-argument. That's the resistance. That's the belief that some crimes don't deserve second chances. Families are divided. Kitty's family largely opposes release, believes brothers are murderers, doesn't accept abuse narrative, wants them to remain imprisoned. Jose's family supports release. Many testified about Jose's character, about concerns they had, about believing the abuse happened, about supporting the brothers, even some of Jose's own siblings, who knew him, who saw things, who believed the worst about him. This family division mirrors national division. Some believe brothers, some don't. Some want release, some want continued punishment. There's no consensus, no agreement, just division, like there's been for 35 years. The judge will decide. Consider arguments. Review evidence. Assess rehabilitation. Don't weigh public safety. Consider justice. Both kinds. Punishment for crime and mercy for context, for abuse, for trauma, for youth, for time served. It's an impossible decision. No right answer. Just choices with consequences. If brothers are released, are we saying murder is acceptable if you were abused? If they stay imprisoned, are we saying abuse victims deserve no mercy? Both conclusions are troubling. Both outcomes are complicated. That's why this case fascinates us, why it divides us, why it matters. Because it's not simple. Because justice isn't always clear. Because sometimes there are no good answers, just hard ones. As of early 2025, decision is pending. Hearing continues. Arguments heard. Evidence reviewed. The brothers wait in prison. As they have for 35 years, hoping, praying, believing maybe this time, maybe finally, justice will see them as victims, as survivors, as men who paid enough. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll die in prison, as sentenced, as convicted, as murderers. We'll see. America watches. Again. Like we did in 1990s. Taking sides, forming opinions, debating endlessly. About what happened, about what should happen, about what justice means. In this case, and in general, we're still divided, still debating, still unsure. Sure. Just like 35 years ago, some things never change. Jose and Kitty Menendez were murdered August 20th, 1989, by their sons. That's not disputed. That's fact. The question is, what should happen to those sons? Life in prison or second chance? Your answer depends on what you believe. About the abuse, about self-defense, about justice, about mercy. There's no objectively correct answer. Just values. Just beliefs. Just opinions. I can't tell you what to think. I can only present the facts, the evidence, the arguments, and let you decide for yourself where you stand on this case, on these brothers, on this impossible question. If you believe the abuse happened, if you believe Jose molested his sons for years, if you believe Kitty knew and allowed it, then the murders look different. Not justified, not right, but understandable. Trauma response, fight or flight, survival instinct. The young men who'd been destroyed by abuse, who saw no way out, who feared for their lives, who fought back too violently, too permanently, but still, response to abuse. If you believe this, then 35 years in prison might seem like enough, might seem like punishment that exceeded crime, might seem like time for mercy, for release, for second chance at life. That's valid perspective. That's reasonable position. That's what many believe. But if you don't believe the abuse, if you think they fabricated it, if you see them as manipulative killers, then the murders look like exactly what prosecution said. Murder for money, for inheritance, for freedom. Cold-blooded, planned, executed. And the 35 years? Not enough. Could never be enough. They took 2 lives. They should spend 2 lifetimes in prison. They should never be free, never enjoy life. They denied their parents. That's also valid, also reasonable, also what many believe. See the problem? Both positions make sense, depending on what you accept as true. Depending on your values, your beliefs, your biases. We're all looking at same case, saying different things. Now, Dionysus, Jamin Frank, the Menendez case asks uncomfortable questions about abuse, about violence, about justice. Can abuse victims become perpetrators? Yes. Obviously. Are they still victims? Maybe. Depends. Does abuse excuse murder? No. Why? But does it explain it? Contextualizes it? Reduce culpability? Some say yes. Some say no. Should our justice system consider trauma? Absolutely. But how much? How far? Where's the line? Between explanation and excuse? Between context and justification? Between mercy and enabling? These are hard questions, without clear answers. That's why this case matters. Why it persists. Why we're still talking about it. 35 years later. Lyle Menendez is 57 years old now. Erik is 54. They spent more than half their lives in prison. They entered as young men. They're middle-aged now. They've missed everything. Careers, travel, travel, freedom. Grandchildren maybe. Normal life. They've paid enormously for 15 minutes of violence, for 2 murders, for 1 night of rage, or fear, or defense. Whatever you call it, they've paid. The question is, have they paid enough? Is there ever enough? For murder? For 2 murders? Of your parents? I don't know. I genuinely don't. That's for you to decide. for courts to decide, for society to decide. But it's not easy. It shouldn't be easy, because this case is tragedy all around, for everyone. And tragedy doesn't have easy answers. If the brothers are released, they'll be old men, starting over, in a world that's completely different from 1989, when they were arrested. They don't know smartphones, social media, modern life. They'll be famous, infamous, always the Menendez brothers, the ones who killed their parents. Can they build lives, find peace, contribute to society? Maybe. People rehabilitate. People change. 35 years is a long time. Or maybe they'll fail. Reoffend. Prove skeptics right. We won't know unless it happens. Unless they're released. Unless they get chance. That's the gamble. That's the risk. That's the debate. This has been the story of the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Erik, who killed their parents in 1989, who claimed abuse, who were convicted, who served 35 years, who might be released, or might die in prison. We don't know yet. Don't know how this ends. Don't know if justice means continued punishment or second chance. Don't know if they're monsters or victims or both. Maybe that's okay. Maybe some stories don't have neat endings. Maybe some cases stay complicated forever. What I know is this: 2 people died. 2 people are in prison. Families are destroyed. And America is still debating, still divided, still unsure about what happened, about what should happen, about what justice means in this case. And maybe that's the point. That's the lesson. That justice is complex, messy, took out, making mixed war. To deny, imperfect, can't you? And sometimes we just have to accept that and let each person decide for themselves what they believe about the Menendez brothers and about justice itself.